Lexington police are investigating the second shooting in 2 days along Eastern Parkway.
Starting to see a little cloud cover across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. We'll track that. Some milder temps and then a lot of rain in the 7-day forecast.
The Kentucky Wildcats play their first game since becoming the top-ranked team in the country. Rob Bromley counts down to game time now at 4.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, you'll be thankful for the weather, at least for a few days. Here's a live look from our sky cam at Triangle Park in downtown Lexington, where the ice skating rink has opened, and it's a nice afternoon. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. And Chris, that's a pretty scene behind you.
Yeah, it really is. We're starting to see those ice crystal clouds filtering in. We talked about this yesterday. You're going to see more of this as we go through the evening and certainly into the next couple of days. But those are not precipitation-producing clouds, giving us a gorgeous skyline out there. Sunset lovers, should be a good one, getting ready to take shape. 55 as of now. Winds are coming from the southwest at 7 miles an hour. That southwesterly wind flow is a milder flow that is kicking in. We can find those clouds on our Defender radar network, not only across central Kentucky, but back into the western parts of the state as well. The overall flow is a milder one coming out of the southwest, and that's a breeze that will continue to gust up over the next few days and really give us a good-looking travel forecast until we get to the weekend. You get past Thanksgiving and things are going to take a soggy turn. When I get back in just a few minutes, we'll talk about the potential for some heavy rains, Jennifer, into that holiday weekend forecast. That's in 15 minutes.
We're tracking breaking news in Lexington. Police are investigating a shooting behind the Parkway Center off Eastland Parkway. Lexington police say the victim, in his 20s, was taken to the hospital. He'd been shot once. Sean Moody has the latest breaking details from the scene.
Lexington police have been going door to door here along Parkway Center, trying to see if there's any more evidence they can collect. They say the man they found with the gunshot wound was conscious and alert when emergency crews took him to the hospital. Police said they got the call around 1:15 of a person shot near a vehicle here off Eastland Parkway. It's right behind the Parkway Center shops. When police got here, they said they found one man in his 20s with a gunshot wound near a vehicle behind the building. People who live here in the area told police they saw someone running toward Meade Court. Officers fanned out and used a dog to try and find the shooter, but so far haven't arrested anyone. Now, this is the second shooting in 2 days here in the area. Yesterday, someone was reported shot after a robbery along nearby Jennifer Road. The people who live around here say it's getting to be way too frequent.
Yeah, but this is just too many, and I mean, it's getting close to Christmas. It's time for family. It's time for everything else, and this is just too much.
And police don't have much of a suspect description at all. The witnesses said they saw someone who was about 6'1" and 160 pounds wearing all black running from the scene. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Police say a high school student was on his way to school in southern Kentucky today when he died in a crash. Investigators say 17-year-old Jacob Downey was headed to North Laurel High School this morning when his truck collided with a utility truck on the Hal Rogers Parkway in London. Phil Pendleton is in Laurel County with the latest. It's our top story at 4.
Jacob Dale Downey was a senior here at North Laurel High School. I'm told that he was on his way to school about 8:30 this morning when his truck collided with a utility truck and he was killed. It was a very violent crash. In fact, police say that it was one of the worst ones they've ever worked. The truck Downey was driving and was the only person in is almost unrecognizable. The crash happened about 8:30. The principal says most of the other students were already at school when it happened. By 10 o'clock, most of the student body was made aware of what happened.
Your heart just sinks. You know, you're just devastated to hear about an accident, especially when it involves a young student and a fatality.
Today was the last day of school before the long Thanksgiving break. Obviously a very sad day, not the day that many students expected to have here today before the long Thanksgiving holiday. Grief counselors were very busy. More on what they're doing coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock. But for now, in Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say they do not believe drugs or alcohol were factors in the crash. Today, a school is paying tribute to a teacher killed in a crash. Sheila Baker died when her car collided with another car in Jeffersonville last Friday. She was a science teacher at Mapleton Elementary in Mount Sterling. Today, students and staff wore purple and finished paper chains made of handwritten memories and messages to Baker.
The students realized that she loved what she was doing and that she cared and loved them and loved being here. And I think when people are in a position that they enjoy, that shows through, and it was most evident with Mrs. Baker that she loved what she was doing and loved being here.
This afternoon, the school released balloons in Baker's memory. We'll have more on the tribute on WKYT News at 4:30. Police have arrested the son of a man charged with a 7-year-old Allen County girl's murder. 20-year-old Bradley Madden is charged with terroristic threatening and intimidating a participant in the legal process. Police say the charges are related to comments he made on the Scottsville Police Department's Facebook page. Madden's father, Timothy, is charged with murder, kidnapping, rape, and sodomy in the death of Gabriella Doolin in Allen County on November 14th. Bradley Madden was arrested in Tennessee and extradited to Allen County, Kentucky. We'll have more details on his arrest on WKYT News at 5. The top-ranked team in the country is in action in Rupp Arena tonight. The Kentucky Wildcats host Boston University in a late game. Rob Bromley has a preview on your official UK station. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Jennifer, and the Cats take the court for the first time this season as the #1 team in the nation as Boston University comes into Rupp. Now, John Calipari not too pleased with the Cats' performance against Wright State looking back to Friday night. But again, Cal has a team loaded with young players, and assistant John Robick said the offense is getting better.
We're starting to understand what we're looking to try to do and where we're trying to get the ball and just concepts. It was tough picking it up early. Defensively as well, just making some adjustments as practice started until now has gotten drastically better, but we still feel that we have a long ways to go in every aspect of the game.
And as you said, Jennifer, a late start tonight. The first 9 o'clock game of the season. There are 4 more left on the schedule. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll hear from junior college transfer Michael Mulder. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. Governor Beshear signing an executive order today restoring voting rights for thousands of nonviolent felons who have served out their sentence. The order excludes those convicted of violent crimes, sex crimes, bribery, or treason. It also restores their right to hold public office. Offenders have to finish their sentences before their rights can be restored.
In the meantime, I am doing this myself through executive order. Congratulations to many of the tens of thousands of people who will soon become engaged members of society once again. Thank you.
Until the governor signed the order today, Kentucky was one of only 4 states that did not automatically restore a felon's voting rights after completion of their sentence. We'll have more details on the executive order ahead on WKYT News at 5 o'clock. Quite an auction taking place, pretty unique, that has ties to Shirley Mason's Lexington home. She's the woman who inspired the 1977 movie starring Sally Field called Sybil. Mason died in 1998 in Lexington. More than 100 works of art recovered from her home illustrate her 16 personas. And now an auction company is selling 80 of her paintings. Coming up on WKYT News at 5:30, we'll have the details on the auction, and you'll hear from the man who has been living with those paintings for the last 20 years. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to a story making headlines across the nation at 4. Less than 2 weeks after the deadly Paris terror attacks, French President Francois Hollande is in Washington working to build support for an international coalition against ISIS. Emily Schmidt has more on what President Hollande and President Barack Obama say they'll do together and what they may not.
French President Francois Hollande came to Washington thanking the United States for its support after the Paris attacks by ISIS and asking for more help to fight those responsible.
It is about taking out their financing, hunting down their leaders, dismantling their networks, and taking back the land they currently control.
This barbaric terrorist group ISIL, or Daesh, and its murderous ideology pose a serious threat to all of us. It cannot be tolerated, it must be destroyed, and we must do it together.
The meeting with Obama comes in the same week Hollande is meeting with British Prime Minister David Cameron, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Today's visit comes on the same day Turkey shot down a Russian fighter plane near the Turkish-Syrian border, an incident that puts tense European neighbors even more on edge. President Obama says the incident shows an ongoing problem with Russian operations.
I think it's very important right now for us to make sure that both the Russians and the Turks are talking to each other, find out exactly what happened, and take measures to discourage any kind of escalation.
On Syria, Obama urged Americans not to be divided by fear that could turn refugees away from the United States. Obama also noted that under Hollande, France plans to accept an additional 30,000 Syrian refugees over the next 2 years. In Washington, I'm Emily Schmidt.